Novak Djokovic has long stood on tennis's Mount Olympus, his name etched beside giants like Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. Together, they formed the Big Three, a golden triumvirate that redefined the sport for nearly 2 decades. But behind Djokovic's ironclad focus and unparalleled achievements lies a more complicated journey, one marked not just by glory, but also by frustration, introspection, and emotional battles even at the height of his success. His latest French Open campaign came to an end in the semi-finals, halted by the rising force of Jannik Sinner. The loss was a blow. Yes, Djokovic always aims for the title, especially on the iconic red clay of Roland Garros where he has lifted the trophy 3 times. Yet even in defeat, the Serbian maestro remained central to the spectacle, cheered passionately by crowds who've come to admire not just his wins, but the ferocity with which he fights. Paris has not always been kind to Djokovic. For years, it was the one slam that eluded him, thanks in large part to Nadal's red clay dominance. He would watch as the Spaniard reigned supreme, again and again. And while Federer's elegance and Nadal's grit earned them global adoration, Djokovic often stood slightly outside that embrace, misunderstood by some, misrepresented by others. That imbalance didn't go unnoticed. There was a time, even as he held the #1 ranking, even as he piled up Grand Slam titles, when Djokovic felt like a shadow in their light. Imagine being one of the best athletes the sport has ever seen, yet constantly asked about how you compare to the other two. Imagine winning everything and still hearing cheers louder for your rivals. It wore on him. Djokovic has admitted as much. The frustration wasn't about jealousy, it was deeper. It was about recognition. About the desire to be appreciated not just for what he won, but how he endured. The hunger, the pain, the sacrifices that never made the highlight reels. Still, he pushed forward. Djokovic never let bitterness define him. Instead, he turned every slight, every underappreciated win, into fuel. He built his body into a fortress. He sharpened his game with monastic discipline. He learned to breathe through pressure, meditate through chaos, and remain relentless in the pursuit of excellence. And soon, the records began to fall. He surpassed Federer's weeks at #1. He caught Nadal's slam tally. He became the first man in the Open era to win each Grand Slam at least 3 times. He mastered every surface. He became the face of resilience. Yet even now, Djokovic reflects not just on the glory, but the journey. On what it cost. The friendships, the doubts, the days when the locker room felt like a lonely place, even as the trophies stacked higher. The Big Three shared stages, sure, but Djokovic's path was uniquely solitary at times. This year, as he felt a Sinner, the torch seemed to flicker. The next generation, Alcaraz, Sinner, Rune, were hungry. They move faster, hit harder, fear less. Djokovic sees it. He respects it. But he's not surrendering. Legacy is a strange thing. It isn't just about titles. It's about story. And Djokovic's story is one of grit as much as greatness. Of fighting not just opponents, but perceptions. Of being the villain in someone else's narrative and still becoming the hero in his own. Paris may not have crowned him this year. But it saluted him. As the clay settles and the tour rolls on, Novak Djokovic remains the man others chase, not just for what he's done, but for what he continues to represent: longevity, evolution, and a refusal to be defined by others. In the silence of the locker room, in the roar of the arena, in the doubt, in the triumph, Novak Djokovic is still writing his legend. And the story's not over yet.